Hi, everybody. Good afternoon.
Hey.
Hi,
Good
guys.
afternoon.
Hey, Sharice.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Going great. Got a lot of people coming in the waiting room. And thanks to all of our guest speakers today. I really appreciate y'all making time to speak to our group of data scholars. Hopefully we'll have a few more join us. Jennifer gave a great presentation yesterday. She got us all warmed up and ready, so.
Awesome. She had, you guys had more fun than I did. I was traveling back from the West Coast and there was a bad accident on I-65. So it took me probably 3 hours to get from Birmingham to Montgomery
Oh my
yesterday
gosh.
afternoon.
Oh my goodness. Well, glad she made it. Man,
Yes,
that
happy
sounds
I'm back.
yeah. Corey, Lily, Kingston, Fernando, Irene, how are you guys doing? And Grace, how's it going?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Good, good.
I'm good.
It's okay. ChatGPT's been fun. It keeps shutting down on me or saying I'm using it too much, so it's delayed.
That's interesting. I heard some other people said that ChatGPT was acting a little bit crazy today. On
Yesterday, it shut me out for 4 whole hours. So as
Oh.
soon as the meeting was over, ChatGPT just said no. So I helped with other stuff.
They want money from you, you know.
I think that's
Free
it.
version.
Yeah, they want money. They want you to pay.
Yeah.
Upgrade to GPT-4 or whatever, wherever we
That's
are.
the one we're working with.
Gotcha.
Are you paying them money?
The company is. I have a private GPT that I built.
Oh, really? Very good. Yeah. Yeah, they are running, OpenAI and all has a revenue rate of close to $2 billion a year. Yeah, selling their product.
Yeah. It's definitely worth the money, though. ChatGPT is pretty incredible. All right, well, we'll give it about one more minute. I'm really hoping we have a few more folks join us. I know several can't make it today. We've been holding these around noon, so I think 1 o'clock got a few people, kind of messed up their schedules a little bit, but we'll at least record this so folks can watch it later. And just to all our guest speakers, I don't know how much y'all know about the Data Scholars Program, but this is a new initiative that is being funded by Innovate Alabama. And our goal is to engage students, these are high school students across Alabama, with data-focused careers. So we're looking at data science, data analytics, and AI. So helping these students explore different career paths, different higher education options within Alabama, and, just encourage them to embrace new technology, whatever direction they decide to go. So, all right. Well, hopefully we'll have a few more join. I guess we can go ahead and get started if y'all want to kick it off. I don't have y'all speaker bios, so I'll let you all introduce yourselves, or Sharice, you may want to lead us off.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and kick it off. So again, I'm Sharice Stokes. I'm actually the executive director for the Alabama Collective, and we work pretty closely with Kelsey and a number of others on looking at talent across the state of Alabama. Specifically, we work with a number of minority institutions and minority students across the state to elevate tech talent and entrepreneurs. But in addition to that, I also wear another hat in leading the I-85 STEM learning ecosystem. And within that ecosystem, we have an opportunity to work with a number of institutions that are not only having coursework within data analytics, data science, and artificial intelligence, but then also working with a number of industry stakeholders that hire individuals that have expertise as well as education in those areas. So what we wanted to do today is to highlight 2 of our local HBCUs that we work with for the Alabama Collective, but then highlighting 2 universities that I work very closely with on their computer science programs, as well as their curriculum, and then also highlighting one of our industry stakeholders that actually employs and uses data analytics within their corporation and their organization. So our first speaker today will actually be Mr. Bobby Bodie. Bobby actually has been in the IT space for quite some time, 15 plus years, but he's been at Trenholm for about 11 years, a little over 10 years, teaching everything from network administration to the data side, some of the programming. He does a lot on the Cisco networking side of the house too, but is very familiar with IT certifications, how those are used, but certainly can speak to some of the program offering that Trenholm has there and some of the work that they do local to the Montgomery community. So I will turn it over to you first, Bobby.
All right, good morning, afternoon, everybody. First, again, my name is Bobby Bodie, and I'm an instructor at Trenholm State Community College. First off, I would like to thank Ms. Stokes for giving Trenholm State the opportunity to share some information about the programs that we offer here at our college. Currently at Trenholm State, we have 7 different applied science degrees that we offer to the community. And they consist of computer information systems, networking, system support, programming, cybersecurity, program coding, and also AWS cloud computing. Now, we also offer the same areas of concentration in a short-term certificate form. So when students come here, we have a lot of instructors that are familiar with the industry, including myself. So when the students come here to our college, they will get hands-on and real-world experience. And so if they decide to go into networking, we prepare them to be network engineers, network administrators. So far as system support is concerned, we also prepare them to work on servers, to be desktop support. We offer programming degrees as well, where they are trained to use, trained to program rather, in C, Visual Basics, and also Python. And in the cybersecurity area, we teach them the entire gambit that is involved in cybersecurity, because most people get a misconception of what cybersecurity is. They think it is just one topic, and we expose the students and let them know that there's a variety of many different topics that will encompass what a cybersecurity person is. So we actually go into exposing them to different areas of the information systems. And coming shortly, probably in the spring of 2025, we're going to be offering a new type of degree, and that's going to be the data analytics degree. And that will be, we're trying to make it strictly online, so more people can have access and can, still maintain their work life and also go to school at the same time. So in doing that program, or in that degree that we're getting ready to offer, they will learn to program using Aura programming. They will be introduced to SQL programming, and we also will introduce them to a visual program called Tableau, and it's a very popular visualization data program that a lot of companies use to actually tell stories about data. So we have a lot going on here at Trenholm, and one of the good things about Trenholm, the teachers or the instructors here, they actually care for the students, and they will actually go out of their way to make sure that you succeed. And being biased, it's really a good college.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Bodie. And I know several of our data scholars are interested in cybersecurity, but they're also going to be learning SQL tomorrow. We have a SQL workshop, so they're already starting to learn these skills now, even ahead of college. So that's really exciting to hear. I had no idea that y'all offered an online program in data analytics. So
right, so that's what we're starting at now, because we've been asked a lot about it, and so we're just going to give it a try and see how it works out, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be really successful. We've done some Google training with the Google Analytics, and it was a really positive outcome. So we just taking the next step now to do it, you know, just as a degree and see how it works. I'm pretty sure it's going to work out well.
Question, would the data analytic program be a bachelor's or associate degree?
We are a community college. Don't think we're going to offer our associate degree, so it'll be an associate's in applied science.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Question also about your cybersecurity. What type of certifications do you guys have?
Now you know, all certifications are industry certifications. Okay, so no college or no college is going to actually distribute those, or they're not responsible for that. What they are industry-wide certifications that you must take, you know, once you think that you have the skill set to do it. Now, one thing that is interesting is, so far as cybersecurity is concerned, there are probably about 4 different types of cybersecurity certification that you can get. And I was looking at some of the numbers with the millions of people that are out here operating and doing cybersecurity. The number of professionals that actually hold these certifications are actually low when it's considered the amount of people that's actually in the field. So if you get these certifications, you can make a whole lot of money, because a lot of people do not have these certifications that are required to actually do these jobs.
So what certification is it?
Well,
Mr. Bodie, can you talk a little bit about the Security Plus certification and even the course that you guys have on that, as well as some of the Cisco coursework that you do and how it essentially leads up to some of the CCNA certs?
Yes, focusing, I'm gonna give you some numbers, and I'm gonna show you just to show you how low the number of certifications are. So for the Security Plus, it says that there are 265, a little bit over 265,000 certified people. Now, in the grand scheme of things, if you can imagine how many people are out there that are working in cybersecurity that don't have that degree, only 265,000 people actually have that degree. They also have a certification, sorry about that. They also have this CISSP, that's a very familiar one. Only 91,000 people have that certification. And so again, the number of people that have these certifications are really low. Now, so far as what we do, in our courses, we actually teach the students how to prepare for those exams. So our subject matter is going to cover what's going to give you what you need to actually be a good security person, but it's also going to focus on the materials that you can expect to pass, that you expect to see in that CompTIA Security Plus certification. Now, we are actually running a boot camp now. We have 2 boot camps that we are currently running, one for the CompTIA Security Plus, and we also have another one for the network CCNA boot camp as well. So so far as that's concerned, in our courses, what we do, we actually have our classes set up that are broken down into the different sections of Cisco. And I'm teaching this Cisco certification now. I've actually developed a program that helps you actually pass the test, because again, the test is not just true and false. And so it is a very difficult test to pass, and that's why a lot of people actually fail it. But during this boot camp that we're teaching right now, I'm showing people actually how to pass those exams, because again, it is more about the understanding how to answer these questions than answering just a true or false or multiple choice question. So, and again, in our programs, we follow the guideline of Cisco. We're actually using Cisco NetCAD, which is very important because it is a Cisco Network Academy. And I've just got certified as an instructor to teach at the Cisco certification. So we're going to be utilizing that in our program as well. So we're going to actually start using Cisco Net Academy to actually teach students. how to learn about networking, and also how to pass that exam, because it is a hard exam, or a difficult one, I would say.
Are students able to join this boot camp, or they have to be like in the college?
No, what happened was, it's interesting. We went out for a grant. I went out and I applied for a grant to actually pay. A matter of fact, what they did, it's a really good offer for $100. And the only reason we asked for $100 is to show your commitment to it. We actually give you a voucher to take the exam. We actually give you the materials to actually study for the exams, and we actually hold class. So you get probably about a $3,000 to $5,000 program for $100. So, and you don't even have to be in the college to do it. So it is a program, because we're community oriented. And so these programs, or these grants that we get are free, basically free, $100. But you don't have to actually be a student, and you can actually be a part of these boot camps. We're trying to get more and more grants to do this more and more frequently. But we have 2 running now. We started one this week, which was the cybersecurity, and next week we're going to start the CCNA boot camp.
Where would we find these boot camps?
If you go on to Trenholm State Community College, they are listed on our website. And again, it is a excellent offer. I mean, you're getting a test that costs you $300 to $400 to take, and you're getting it for free. And you also getting you're getting an education, or you're getting training for absolutely free. So it is a unbelievable deal for $100.
Are students able to do these boot camps over the summer, and can you also do it virtually, or have to be in person to do these boot camps?
Well, again, these boot camps that we're doing now, they're going to be based on our ability to get a grant to do them. When it comes to doing it online, we do it hybrid. We do like 2 days online and 2 days on the campus. And the reason why we do that, when you're learning new material like this, it is best that you show up for class, because a lot of material you have not been exposed to before, and it's really difficult to give you a really good education, to get a really good understanding to a subject matter that you have never experienced before, with the level that you have to experience in order to pass the exam. So we do a hybrid situation, and it works well.
During the summertime, or?
For right now we're doing the class. We're doing it in the summertime this time. Again, that's because that's when the grant fell. We got the grant, and we decided to do it over the summertime. So we did one probably about 2 months ago. We started one up this week. And if we have enough money left, and I'm sure we will, we're going to run another one probably in the fall. So we'll probably run about 3 different boot camps. But again, it is an excellent deal, because you're getting a lot for free. You're getting a lot for $100. You're getting it's unbelievable. You will not run into this opportunity again.
Are these classes like beginner level, or are they like you have to have basic understanding?
A lot of people tell you that you can. A lot of people tell you can start from 0 and get there. I'm telling you, it's not possible. I'm a realist. I don't fool anybody. When you come to these boot camps, you got to think of boot camps. See, I was in the military. I was in the Corps. The whole purpose behind a boot camp is to change your habits, right? It is a drastic and quick change, right? It's the same thing with these boot camps and this information that you're actually learning. It is a drastic change, and it is something that's going to occupy your time. If you're a person that likes to procrastinate, if you're a person that likes to that enjoys being spoon-fed, you won't make it, because it requires that you think. All right. And it requires that you understand. And it is a lot of information to understand in a given amount of time. A lot of information.
I was more so asking, can you go with not knowing what it's about?
No,
Or do you have to have full, like, basic understanding of it?
you got to have a basic understanding. This is something that you cannot just come off of the street. So say, for instance, that you're a carpenter and you just automatically say, you know what, I want to get into networking. You would not be able to pass that exam unless you're just a smart person. If you're a very smart person with a high IQ, I'm pretty sure you can do it. But if you, like the rest of us, where we have to study and have to get an understanding, no, you cannot start from anything. And you have to have a really good understanding and also a determination on top of all of that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think Corey's got the IQ. I think you could do it. No, I think you've got some takers on your boot camp. Oh my goodness. I just want to jump in real quick and ask our scholars who are online, if you guys don't mind just turning on y'all's cameras. I see several of y'all online. We'd love to see y'all's faces and just engaging with our speakers while they're here. But thank you so much, Mr. Bodie, and good questions you
You're
got.
welcome.
Now, I think Mr. Bodie will probably stay on at least and listen in for a little while.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
if you have questions for him later, certainly ask them. And if not, we could at least provide information so that Kelsey, I can provide that to you so you have contact info for all of our speakers if any of the students want to reach out later on. But now I'll go ahead and introduce Dr. Kamal Higurani. Dr. Higurani is actually a professor at Alabama State University. He's a professor of computer information systems, but he's also the dean of the entire College of Business Administration at ASU. So he's been a private investigator before for different grants through the Department of Education, but he enjoys teaching students in computer science and actually is currently implementing a data analytics program at Alabama State. So I will turn it over to Dr. Higurani.
Oh, welcome, like we are at Alabama State University, we are getting pressure from industry that we have to, modernize our curriculum and make data analytics a part of the entire business curriculum. We are one of the 17 universities nationwide that is part of a KPMG MADA program, MADA, which is the Masters of Accountancy with Data and Analytics. And what we have done is we have revamped the entire program. Master's program in accounting generally requires 10 courses. Now, out of the 10 courses, and all 3 of them are pure data analytic classes. And KPMG is one of the very big companies in the US and all. If you go and Google them and all, they are right at the very, very top, And they provide us and the students access to a cloud platform where we host all the data analytic tools. The KPMG also provides us with teaching materials. So you'll be analyzing data that has been supplied by KPMG, and they have tons of data which they have shared with the 17 universities. So we have a class where we start with database, the foundation of data analytics is a database. Data is organized in form of a database. So we have a class on database management where we start with Access. We actually start with Excel. Okay, and Excel and all is, you start with Excel, which I think most of you must be knowing. And then we migrate to a program called Microsoft Access. And then from Microsoft Access and all, we migrate up to an enterprise class database called SQL Server. So, and now we are in the modern age, and also we do not focus on telling you how to write an SQL statement or a SQL statement. We have beautiful query editors that write the query for you. So we focus on the student understanding the data. So once you have a clear understanding of how data is organized, then you can start analyzing the data. And for analyzing the data and all, what we recommend is Power BI. That's a Microsoft product. And Power BI is far superior to Tableau. You must be hearing a lot of things about Tableau. But Tableau is like, focused on the visualization, while Power BI is a product that focuses on data. So once you have a clean data set, then you can build any visualization that you need. So that is how we organize the course. So you have a good understanding of all the 3 levels of databases, and then you understand Power BI and SQL statements and joins. You come out knowing everything on a real enterprise class database, We do not believe in online education and all. We generally teach all the classes in computer labs. And if we have to do an online instruction and all, it'll be just like this. You'll be working on your computer while the instructor is giving you instruction on how to do it. There's nothing called asynchronous, because we don't believe computer technology can be, or computer science can be taught in an asynchronous environment. And then then when we talk of data science or data analytics and all, you have to have a good understanding of a programming language. Okay, the programming language de facto standard is Python. So we have 2 courses in Python, Python 1 and 2. We have done away with all programming classes except Python in our curriculum, because we focus on Python. So if you take those 2 classes, you get a good understanding of Python. We teach Python to graduate students also. Like accounting students have to learn Python. They have no other alternatives. The second course is on Python, and the third course and all. There's a software which many of you must have not heard of. It's a program called Alteryx. Okay. And that has become the de facto industry standard. If you go to any of the big companies and all, if they want to migrate to a software that is more powerful than Excel, then they use Alteryx. So in our curriculum and all, we have a course that focuses on Alteryx, and there are other tools like data snippers, and there's a proprietary tool that has been developed by KPMG that we allow the students to work on. So data science is the way the industry is moving, and we have made sure that that data science is across the curriculum. You at least have to take 3 classes in data sciences if you have to have a degree in business. And about certifications and all, we believe in certifications and all. We have grants that pay for the cost of certifications, and if you pass the certification exam, there's a stipend that goes with it. We start with a program or a certification called AWS Cloud Practitioner. That is an easy certification, but it gives you a very good understanding of what the cloud is, what AWS is all about. And if you know AWS, then you know what Azure is. So, we teach you AWS, and migrating from AWS to Azure. These are the 2 important cloud platforms. And we have had great success in students earning the AWS certification. The exam is free, and you would not believe it. One of our student, a recent student, got a perfect 1,000. The standardized test is scored on a scale of 1,000, and she scored a perfect 1,000. One of the very few students in the world who has attained that distinction. So we have the study material we focus on. So the first certification that you have to take is AWS Cloud Practitioner. And the second certification and all is the Security Plus. We would like all our CIS students to at least graduate with a certification called Security Plus. If you have a Security Plus, then you get a direct employment at the base. That is all they look for. Okay, you have a Security Plus, and if you have a security clearance, which most of you are, because you're a U.S. citizen, then you start with a job in Maxwell that pays you close to 40,000. And after Security Plus, then you have to learn. So So we teach you Security Plus, and that we allow every student to administration. We pay for everything. And if you pass that exam, we give you a stipend of 350. Now that money is given to us through a grant from AT&T. You know, so we have a grant from AT&T that pays for Security Plus, and then we have a class that helps you prepare for that exam too. So the focus in our curriculum is on AWS Cloud Practitioner and the Security Plus. We are looking at of implementing a certification exam in Power BI. That's a Microsoft product, but you know, Microsoft itself doesn't have a good certification exam for testing on Power BI. So we're just waiting for Microsoft to come for a good, develop a good exam that we can implement in the curriculum. We strongly believe, you know, the job market is very, very competitive. And unless you have these certifications on your resume and all, nobody's going to look at you. So we try our best to give you those certifications along with a hands-on approach in all aspects. You know, the KPMG grant that has been given to us is worth $750,000. So we have a lot of money, and the expertise of KPMG supporting us. We have done it in the Master's Accountancy. Now we have an MBA program that is built just like the Master's Accountancy, where you take 3 classes in data analytics, and those 3 classes are now being ported at the undergraduate level also. So all the classes at ASU are hands-on, and you do it in the lab. You know, we don't teach a class outside the lab. And if you're in Montgomery and all, come and visit us. We can show you our facilities. We have good facilities out here. Of course, the next question is artificial intelligence and all. We have a new instructor. We have hired him, who's got a computer science degree from Vanderbilt University. His dissertation was in artificial intelligence, and you know, he has been a great success at ASU. So if you want to learn about AI, you have a world-class instructor at ASU. And generative AI and all, we have made it a requirement for all our classes. You know, we use ChatGPT for text. And, you know, I think if many of you are using ChatGPT and all, the focus nowadays on ChatGPT is how to give the ChatGPT the perfect prompt. You know, if you don't have a perfect prompt, you don't get the perfect response. So most of the industry, you know, today is struggling to teach their staff, and we as university are trying to teach our students how to improve the prompt, because the ChatGPT response is based on your prompt. You know, so we focus on teaching prompt. And besides ChatGPT, there are other you know, AI implementation where you can actually draw a flow chart and things of that sort. So we have done that too also. So we make sure that students who come out from ASU at least have a good understanding on the latest in AI. And you know, like, you're so lucky, AI is a very expensive, ChatGPT is a very expensive software. It's available for everybody free of cost. And if you want to learn ChatGPT and all, I will recommend that you work on your prompts, you know, see how the computer responds to various different prompts. You know, because unless you have the correct prompt, you won't get the correct response. So that is how we work, you know. The focus is on certification, the focus is on hands-on instruction. And then, you know, we have 3 graduate assistants who are available all the time to help students if they have any problem. And one of the gentlemen is right here. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello. My name is Guy Samandari, and I'm doing my master in accounting of data analysis consultation, and I'm one of the grad assistants at Alabama State University. So if you guys here, I'll be happy to give you a tour, talk about the opportunity we have right here. It will be a pleasure for me to meet you guys. Thank you.
So he just graduated from ASU with a perfect 4.0, so he's one of the very smart students. He comes
From Burundi.
Burundi and Africa. Yes, he has got a good standing at ASU. Everybody loves him. Now he's a part of the College of Business, and he's available all 7 days, if you need any help.
Yeah.
But the instructors are also supposed to help you. You don't even have to go to the graduate assistant. The instructors will help you. And he has had no experience with Python, and he loves
Dr. Higurani, I think you're away from the microphone. We can't really hear you.
I said he has no experience in Python, but he's now become a sort of an expert on Python.
Yeah, I'm learning.
The focus is on Python. We spend a lot of resources on teaching our students Python. We've done away with all other programming language like Java. I think it's all Python 1 and Python 2. Any questions? Come and visit us. You have to see us. So we are always open. Come and see us. You'll get a good feel of who we are, what we do. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Higurani. I guess any questions from any of the scholars?
I just want to say I'm impressed with how many options are available just in Montgomery. I mean, it's amazing. We heard from AUM last week, a professor in their information systems program spoke and talked about the new AI lab at AUM. And now I'm hearing about all this. So tons of opportunities just right there in Montgomery alone. So that's really amazing. But thank y'all so much.
All right, and so next, we definitely wanted you guys to hear about the options from an educational perspective. Certainly, if you heard from AUM last week, and now today hearing from both Trenholm as well as ASU, it's also good to see how is it used in practice. And so we've invited Megan Johnson from ALFA to actually speak to how does ALFA use data science and data analytics, and what they look at from not just an education standpoint, but how they apply it in their everyday. So Megan, I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Does everybody, can you hear me okay? Can I get a thumbs up? Awesome. Thank you. I was on a phone call yesterday with folks, we call them out in the field. It's our agents across Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama. And I'm doing this and I'm talking and I get a Teams message. Hey, we can't hear you. So it was a little demoralizing. I had to get the energy back up to get it going again. But yeah, thank you so much for the chance to share with everybody. I am Megan Johnson. I'm the Vice President of Business Intelligence and Analytics here at ALFA Insurance. If you're not familiar with ALFA Insurance, watch a few commercials, look at some billboards around town. We have a large home office over on the Eastern Boulevard where I sit today. And, we've got stores with our agents all across the state of Alabama and in Georgia and Mississippi. So we sell auto, home, life, business owners, farm owners, whatever kind of insurance you need, we sell it. But because we sell so much insurance, we've got a lot of data, and man, is it fun to work here. I'll tell a little bit of my background because Mr. Bodie and Dr. Higurani mentioned some of the background and trade secrets on getting into college and getting out to kind of where I am in industry. So I have an MIS, Management Information Systems degree from Auburn. Graduated from there a long time ago, but that was the degree they had. And as I was exiting, they were starting a data analytics program. I think they started with a master's, kind of like Dr. Higurani was mentioning, and now they have an undergrad. So I'm really encouraged to hear y'all both speak about the offerings here in Montgomery, because that gives me lots of opportunities to hire people in Montgomery. But yeah, I've got the MIS background. I started down the security track. So when you're talking about CISSP, I had one of those. I don't maintain it anymore because I don't need it. But there's lots of technical certifications that I would encourage y'all to look at and pursue as you get into your final years in high school and look into undergraduate and getting out into industry. They certainly make you stand out to folks like me that are looking at resumes. Seeing that you've done the little bit of extra work, not just the coursework to get your degree, but have gotten that certification sure means a lot, because here at work every day, it's not just please do what was asked, but do it task and maybe can you add a little more? Show me that you can own a little more, that you're interested in growing and furthering ALFA or furthering the analytics program here. So I'll just tell you a little insider knowledge. that helps a lot. So that's my background. I worked in security for a little while at Alabama Power, and then I went to IT consulting, the world of IT consulting, which is very exciting if you get to have an opportunity there. And then landed here at ALFA about 6 years ago and came in as a research analyst in the analytics department. And at the time, it was 4 people. Now we have 14. And then we've got other teams now doing data management at ALFA. So shortly after I came here, we reorganized, and the insurance company decided, hey, this data stuff, this is going on, it's important enough. We don't need to kind of put it aside in one of these other business teams. We need to pull it out and make it its own business unit. So I sit under an org structure called Product and Data Management, and I have a peer who's also vice president in data management. He has data systems, and then I have business intelligence and analytics. So if you just think about it from like a very kind of simple way, if you're at the grocery store, you know, the 18-wheeler backs up to the grocery and unloads everything. Well, that's kind of him. He's on the system side. He's getting all of the data stored in place. And then I'm going and accessing it and using it and turning back around to the business and giving them insights from it. So with that, it means I have to really understand those business teams, and I have to have good relationships there. So as a former technical expert, I'm not anymore, I'll tell you, understanding those business teams is going to be key for y'all's success as you look to working in this data field. We all love data. We're passionate about it. You wouldn't be here in the summertime in the afternoon talking to us about this if you weren't interested. But please take this nugget away that the data in and of itself without a business partner is going to be harder for you to have some quick wins with. So understand the business teams, understand how they want to use the data, understand what they're trying to problem solve for, and make a recommendation if they hadn't considered something. If you see it, you are the expert. You're the data expert. That's what I tell my folks all the time. You know the data better than the accountant or the underwriter or the claims adjuster or the salesperson. That's not what they're looking at every day. They have a feeling for how these things are going, but they can't see the 100,000 policies we quoted last year. You can, and you have power in that. So bring that to them. That's your superpower, is the fact that you can see these things. So that's one thing I talk about with my teams particularly. So I'm hoping I'm instilling a couple nuggets for y'all as you're looking to move into this career. So thank y'all for mentioning the certifications. Those are huge. We went back to that. Mentioned the 2 key areas that we have, and the fact that insurance has tons of data. So we have, let's see, in Alabama, we have over 350,000 households where we insure the auto and the home. It's a lot of data. They pay their bills every month. They have claims every day. They want to buy a new vehicle and add a new vehicle or change the limits on their vehicle. You can start to see the theme here of how much volume we're working with, and it's just tons and tons. We used to brag about how many terabytes of data we had. That's just table stakes at this point in insurance. If you're looking at other insurance carriers, they're not talking about how much data they have. They're just talking about what are we doing with it? What business insights are we driving? What are we changing or innovating because we saw something in the data? So lots of implication on the insurance side. There are tons of other industries that use data. It's not just insurance. Y'all know this, but I worked in power and I worked in IT consulting. All of those things use data and in different ways. But if you can take the concepts that y'all are kind of learning and focusing on as you go through these types of programs, and just broadly, you can bring them to any industry, but plug in and know what that industry is and what they care about. Lots of opportunities in insurance. I never saw myself working in insurance. My dad was an insurance agent, and I just know, kind of brush this out like, I'm more interested in like data and numbers, and no. Well, there's a tie, and there is, I would reckon it, 99.9% of companies, there's going to be some data opportunity there. So look for that. So for our area, I have 2 types of roles that work in our department. We have what we call research analysts. So those are the folks that are in the data day-to-day, extracting it from our data warehouse, putting together business cases, creating lists of customers we need to call today, creating corporate reporting in Power BI, those developers that do that. And then we've also got software engineers. So the developers are fitting under that software engineer umbrella. We've got business intelligence and analytics, but there's 5 distinct teams in our area. So I hope I'm painting a picture of hope for y'all. There's a lot of opportunity and there's a lot of need. When we went from 4 to 14 in analytics alone, man, it's hard. It was hard for us to kind of find enough folks to interview to feel like we had a good coverage, and we're comfortable with that. And thankfully, we've got some good partnerships at universities surrounding. It sounds like we need to talk to you, Dr. Hingarani, and you, Mr. Bodie, about for more opportunities there. But it's a growing industry, and even if you're not in a data team, the expectation is quickly becoming that you are data savvy. So as I'm talking to my business partners in underwriting and claims and sales, those that can understand the lingo I'm using and use the Power BI report that I've given them, they're a step ahead than those that are not familiar with Excel or not able to put together some kind of business case around what's happening in their team. So it's a real big differentiator. Even if you don't go down the kind of data management strict technical path, your career is going to call for exercising data knowledge regardless. But as we're interviewing folks, I'll list off the degrees that we accept for our roles. There's quite a few, and I can send them out later if we needed to. But math and statistics and economics, that's big from an analytics standpoint. Computer science, finance, data analytics, and business analytics, which were new. I didn't have that at Auburn when I was graduating. Probably would have been a great fit for me. But data science, information systems, computer engineering, computer science, and I already said information systems. So quite a broad smattering of degrees that we can take in these roles that we can accept. So those are things that, if you're passionate about data like I am, those might be the degrees you start to look towards if you go on to that next step at undergraduate school. So I don't think I mentioned the fact that ALFA has like 2,400 employees. So it's a large company. Like I said, if you're not familiar, I encourage you to kind of take a peek, watch for that red box. You'll see it. You'll see that logo everywhere. But we've got over 2,400 employees. So that's a lot of data needs. We serve every part of the business. We are, like I said, we're a standalone team, and we consider ourselves kind of a center of excellence. So we're able to share our knowledge and insights from the data out to those teams. They call us and say, hey, I got a problem. I'm not sure what's causing it. Can you dig into the data and tell me? Or, hey, I want to change this. Can you tell me how big of an impact it's going to make? And we can do that. We have that. It's, for them, they think it's a crystal ball. For us, it's a SQL query and some pivot tables and a Power BI report, and off we go. So, I don't want to undermine the effort that the teams do, but it is very powerful what they can provide back to the teams. I mentioned the fact that we use Power BI. We also do SQL and R and Python for kind of querying the tools. Some of us use SAS, which is a little bit more of a legacy tool. I heard Alteryx mentioned. We have looked at Alteryx, but we're constantly kind of evaluating, are we on the right tool set? Do we need to level up? And that was us a couple of years ago when we were looking at SAS and SQL going, okay, I think maybe we need to move into the R and Python space. That should unlock some more insights for us and maybe even get the folks able to do their work a little easier, a little bit faster. So we do that. I mentioned the fact that with data science, analytics, being able to work with data and be savvy in that space is going to be key for kind of any job going forward. So, I heard him mention, do Excel and then do Access and do these different tools. YouTube is endless. So there's plenty of opportunities to go and learn on your own. Take those opportunities and then step back and be able to tell a story in an interview or to a professor or a mentor, something like that. Be able to tell that story of what you learned, because it's one thing to be able to technically do the thing, but if you got to communicate it, sometimes we find that hard. As technical folks and data kind of focused people, we might find that hard from time to time. So I know that y'all have heard lots of good plugs for doing a little extra, take the extra step, but make sure that you can communicate that well to those folks that are interested in knowing your skill set. Many interviews here, it's kind of like, okay, well, I see you're good on paper. Let's talk about what impact did that analysis have that you listed on this paper. So that's just a little bit of a career coaching I'll plug that we talk about here. Other things I'll just share out just as kind of tips and tricks as you're looking to move into this kind of industry. Curiosity is so key. I mean, I give them a hard time like, hey guys, our job titles are research analysts. We are researching, we are digging, we are finding the needle in the haystack, and we're making a recommendation on what we can do next. So that curiosity, it's got to be there. What we can't do is say, hey, can you go find what caused our sales to dip last month? And we go look and go, okay, I didn't find it. No answer. That's not an okay business answer. So we got to stay curious and keep trying to find what that is. And oftentimes for us at ALFA, it's never one single thing. And so the curiosity is, okay, well, what combinations of things are making this happen, making this kind of data anomaly occur? I mentioned knowing your business, knowing your industry. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been in multiple. Not saying that you have to stay in one and know it all the way through, but wherever you are, make sure that it's known that you're curious and that you're interested in the business side. I joke with my peers. They're like, did you have a good day today? I'm like, well, I think so, because we're still selling insurance. Like, that's what we're here to do. We're here to sell insurance and we're here to service the customers we have. And as long as my data side is not preventing that, it's a good day. Now, if we're adding to it, it's an even better day. That is icing on the cake. But just remember, like these business teams, they've operated without us for a little while. They know they're better with us, but they've operated without us. So we need to be on our P's and Q's and we build trust and build rapport with them as we're starting to kind of needle our way, move analytics into their workflows. I've benefited too from just lots of mentorships. I heard multiple invitations to come visit these folks, and I would encourage you to, step out of your comfort zone and go do that. Go visit, go learn, go ask questions. You'll walk away, one, having impressed the folks that you took the time to go visit, and two, you will now have a broader knowledge of the choices you have ahead. You've got a lot of choices ahead of you, and you don't know which one's right and which one's wrong, but we're researchers, right? So we go and we find out all the options and we come up with what we think is going to be best for us. And so, if you have chances to do a day in the life somewhere or a internship, we've got a bunch of interns here this summer that are in undergraduate, across the Southeast. Take those opportunities, and that will give you a little bit of an insider track on what might be good for you for a career. What do you want to do 8 to 5, 5 days a week, or what do you want to kind of consult and add? So I hope I've given y'all a little, just a glimpse into what we look at ALFA on the data management side. I'd be happy to field any questions or just kind of take any feedback or comments that anybody has.
Well, I'll start. I want to say, Megan, thank you so much for speaking to our data scholars. And you've mentioned, taking advantage of internships. Well, that's what all these students are already doing, and they're just in high school. So, they're already getting a jump start on these careers and starting to explore just all the options out there. So, it sounds like they've definitely heeded your advice already. Yeah, I did want to ask too. I know there's some unique careers within the world of insurance that rely on data, like underwriters, actuaries. Could you maybe expand on some of those?
Sure, yeah. So we like to say actuary is like the original data science. So what an actuary does is they look at large volumes of data about the policyholders and what we've paid for those claims and what premium we've brought in for those policyholders. And what they try and do is that crystal ball we mentioned before. Can we forecast into the future what is the right price for this policy? So just a quick insurance lesson. We don't know the right price of the policy until after it's sold. So let's say Megan Johnson walks into an ALFA office today. I have a little Camry, and I say, hey, I want a policy for my car. They'll say, okay, it's gonna be $600. Well, if I go have a fender bender out front of the office on the boulevard the next day, well, guess what? ALFA has lost money because that fender bender is going to be, let's say, $1,500. So if it was $600 versus $1,500, they've lost. But what they do need to look at, actuaries, is what's her likelihood to stay with ALFA? Might she bring a home to us? What are all these data components that help us price these policies correctly? And so they are huge, huge users of data. Anytime we change the rates on policies or add a new product line, that's the only way to do it. We have to create, hey, what is fair? And we have to defend it to the Department of Insurance. You know, we don't just get to make up the rates we like. You know, if we feel like we want to make more money, we don't just get to raise rates. They regulate us. So we have to defend it. And they're mathematicians by trade. But secondarily, they are data scientists, and they bring in hordes of data because you're able to pick up on a trend. You know, everybody knows inflation has hit, is costing everything more. Well, they are able to see that trend early in, you know, the auto repairs that we're making or the home repairs that we're making. And then they can forecast it into the future using their mathematics skills. So the actuarial team uses it. The underwriting team is another group that uses it. For example, they're in charge of determining what's an acceptable risk for us at ALFA. So a simple example that I think everybody would understand is, you know, if a customer has a DUI, do we want to write their insurance? Well, their likelihood of having a claim in the future is pretty good because we've proven it through the actuarial science. And so we work with underwriting to say, okay, you know, where's the water level of the risk we want to accept? And sometimes we raise it and sometimes we lower it depending on what's happening within the business and the company strategy. And they rely heavily on data. I was actually at an underwriting conference last week with our senior vice president of underwriting and got a chance to present to his group. And he said it. I wouldn't have said it because I like to work from a kind of a service oriented mindset. But he said, you know, I don't make a decision without calling Megan and her team. So in the past, he would just make the decision on gut and feel and kind of hope it turned out. Now he calls us and we will validate and say, yeah, you can do this and it's going to cause that. Or here's another idea. You might consider this and it might work out a little better. And it's ultimately up to him as that business unit leader to make that decision. But we're providing him a lot of backing and a lot of support. And like I said, that kind of research and full picture of what's possible, you know, from our perspective in the data, if he were to make these decisions. And it makes him feel a lot better day to day, being able to make those really, really big decisions. I mean, we're $1 billion company. So when he's making a decision, it's not small. It's not just my policy. It's mine and 50,000 other people's policy that he's working on. So, and we're here to serve. So he wants to be really, really certain on that. And we're able to provide him a little bit more certainty there.
I have a question. You said you've worked in power, IT, and insurance. And so what skill have you carried throughout all of these businesses that you think most data businesses will value the most? So what are the highest value skills?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think I hit on the curiosity earlier, like just endlessly curious, probably frustratingly curious because I'm like, why? Can you explain why? But also I think level of ownership over the work. That's one thing that I really applaud in the folks in my team. It's hey, be curious, but also don't just rely on somebody else to give you the answer. You know, sometimes they need to give you the answer and inform you and educate you, and that's fine. But also, have you done some work to go try and find it yourself? You know, have you gone on Google? Have you gone on YouTube? Have you read a book? Like, have you done a little bit, taken it the next step to kind of own that? And I don't think that those are characteristics that are specific to data. So I think those are things that are ubiquitous, and I see it, you know, in the underwriting and in the sales team. You know, are you curious? Are you open to new ideas? Can you promote them? And then will you really own it and engage it? Not just, I joke with people, I'm like, we're not order takers. We don't want to be order takers. Like, order takers is cool, but like, that's not us. That's not what we want to be. We want to provide value. So we want to hear your idea and answer it and then add some more. Because like I said, we've got all the policies and all the data. So we can add more. We're the experts. So we do that. But that's a really good question, Corey.
Thank you.
All right, Sharice, I don't want to run us out of time. I'm sorry I've talked a little extra.
No, it's been great. Really appreciate it. I think it was awesome to be able to get an understanding for the coursework and the certifications that are available right here in Montgomery at 2 of our local institutions, but hearing from you how it can be used and how you all are using data analysts and those that are in the data science fields, and what you're doing at ALFA has been awesome. So I really appreciate you, Megan, appreciate you, Mr. Bodie, and certainly you as well, Dr. Higurani. Kelsey, please let us know if you need anything else from us. And if any of your data scholars have questions, we are more than happy to answer.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sharice. And thanks to all of our VIP speakers today. This was great. And guys, if y'all have any questions, I'll be sure to help connect you and get you the information you need. But thank y'all so, so much. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, best of luck to everybody.
Thank y'all so much.
Good luck
Bye,
to all of you.
thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.